Welcome to Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life. Why you should or why you should not. This is a series where we basically take a subject, whatever it might be, and try and convince you or explain to you our opinions or back and forth. And this one is simply why you should buy a Nintendo Switch. This is coming from me mainly because I happen to own a Switch where you don't.
I don't.
Why not?
Because it's a lot of money to spend.
All right, ignore the money side of things. Imagine you have the money. Would you buy one?
If I had the money and I didn't have anything better to spend on, which probably wouldn't be the case, then maybe it would probably be on the list of if I had a list, it'd be 10th maybe.
Why? Why so low?
Because I just don't think there's enough incentive to buy it, basically.
Okay.
I'm not incentivized by playing the new Mario game or playing a new Zelda, because firstly, with Zelda, I'm a little bit too far behind on the Zelda games to be too excited about playing a new one. I just don't think the exclusive games excite me in the same way they excite certain people that enjoy them, because I think they've been milked to death a little bit. I think Nintendo really milk these franchises and they get a bit of a free pass with it. I know they're quite creative with them and do new things and whatnot, but essentially they're just milking the same properties over and over and over, and they get praised for it.
Right, it's interesting to say that, but do you think that's a fair, valid opinion without having played many of these new variations?
I haven't played them, but I have seen lots of them, and I know that, of course, I'm not saying they're bad games. I'm just saying it's still another Mario game, it's still another Zelda game.
But just like it's another new Halo and so on, it is what it is. It's a console seller. I know you're not, but
disagree.
It's just a console seller, right? What about the idea of having a powerful system that is also handheld? So basically, yeah.
Well, I mean, of course it can play certain games like Skyrim and stuff. You can be portable with that. That's cool, You're taking a flight and you can play Skyrim on the flight, or I don't know why anyone would take it actually out in public unless you want to get mugged. But
no, I mean, I'm not even saying that. Say you're lying here at home, you're on your couch, you don't want to hold a control, but you want to. Sally's on the.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's cool, but obviously I'm quite motivated by achievements on Xbox, so I wouldn't put 100 hours into a portable Skyrim, because I wouldn't be as motivated to do that, because I played it before. A lot of the games that you can play that aren't exclusive have been played many years ago.
Of course, yeah.
They're just porting for Resident Evil 5,
the Resident Evils,
6, but also the visuals are quite low quality.
No, they're not.
As well, compared to playing on a big screen. They're basically the Xbox 360 versions of the game. I've seen the Doom version and stuff they're very scaled down. Of course, they would be, of course, because they're portable. On
the portable, there's obviously going to be a loss of resolution and frame rate and stuff like that.
Even plugged in, they're very. I think they might hit 720p maybe.
Do you not think it's a good thing to see, while they are all these old ports, do you not think it's a good thing to see Nintendo opening stores up in a way they've never done before, where all these old ports are actually becoming available?
I don't think it's too different to their previous console like the Wii U. They've got a lot of ports.
Not to this level. That was a lot more exclusive.
They're getting old games ported. The game, they're not getting anything new. They've just recently got The Witcher 3 again. That's extremely downscaled. Looks horrible, visually. But it's kind of still. I mean, playing The Witcher 3 handheld would still be a cool experience.
Yes.
But
when you say they're not getting anything new ported, what's new coming out? Because at the moment, all gaming
is all new games. Any new game that comes out in the last 2 years.
Do you know? Right. So the Switch is open its doors in the same way that Microsoft did towards the indie market.
Yeah. But
every day.
I've heard a lot of bad things about the Nintendo store and how much crap is on there.
Oh, its sales are as good as Microsoft's. Brilliant sales.
I mean, a lot of
Oh, you have to. It's not.
Crap on there,
of course. But
there's the issues they have with their online system, and they just feel so far behind.
This isn't a defense of that side of thing. It's a defense. It's my argument as to why you buy a Switch. Now, it is of course game specific. Now, it's interesting you talked about same franchises. The Mario game, the latest Mario game on it, is the best Mario game I've played since Super Mario 64.
Okay, I don't disagree with that, but I still think it's another. It is just a Mario game, and it's why are people not tiring of Mario?
Because it's still inventive.
But it may be inventive, but it's even if Halo is cool, is a shooter, it's an FPS, right? And they can do as many creative things as they want, but people will still call it stale. Not
necessarily.
Mario is cool as a platformer, whether it's 3D, 2D, whatever, it's a platformer, and they can throw in all these creative things, all these silly, wacky things, but it's still a platformer.
Yeah, but you're stuck no matter what, though.
Same things.
You're stuck no matter, because we all
criticize one thing for the other because they're so nostalgic for things like Mario, their childhood and stuff. They're too afraid to criticize.
Oh no! I'm not. I'm struggling to quite understand the love of Breath of the Wild. I've really struggled to get into that. Really struggled, and I keep going.
People are saying that Mario Odyssey is that you're saying it's the best Mario ever played.
Yeah.
Most people I've heard talk about Breath of the Wild, they're saying it's the best Zelda they've ever played.
Right.
And it's maybe it is, but maybe like Nintendo should try something new and creative. I just think like the Switch is basically Nintendo just doing the exact same thing they've done before, where they've created this system. Yeah, it has the portability, but the Wii U kind of hinted towards that. It had a similar sort of thing. It's basically what the Wii U was supposed to be, I think. And they've basically created a system where they're still using the exact same franchises, milking it. People are, going crazy over the new Super Smash Brothers. Is like, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. It's just you play these same games. Yeah, they're updated visuals. They got new characters and stuff, but it's just the same thing.
But it's just like it's just like people playing Tekken 6.
And yet they're opening their doors to like inferior ports. It's like
not always inferior.
They are inferior. You need to look up like comparisons.
Yeah, but see, I've never, and I never will be one of those who's like, oh my god, it's not running at 60 frames per second. I'm going to shoot myself.
No,
I've never thought that.
I mean, I bought an Xbox One X because I want to play multi-platform games in the best way possible. I want them to look the best. I bought
it because I wanted a new console, and that was the best one available.
Well, I bought it for the technology, for the power. I want to play like The Witcher 3 in 4K. I don't want to play it in 720p. If I had an option between the two, I would obviously choose one over the other. Yeah, you got the portability on one side, but it's like, how much would I really use that? I wouldn't take it down the street. I'd probably get mugged.
No, but
I don't really go on planes, so
no, it's like simple things. You'd say you're in bed.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's like as time goes on, that's like there's talk about streaming to your like phone, and there's the thing that Microsoft's talking about, the cloud thing, and the Google Stadia, things like that. They're all going to catch up to Nintendo and the portability, and then they've just announced that new Switch, the new one they just announced recently. Yeah. It's like a even more dulled down version that I think it's only portable.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cheaper. Yeah, it's like,
but it's still actually really expensive. I just think they're just milking people, and people are getting milked by the nostalgia Nintendo, and I just think they continue to do that, and people just love it, man. They love it.
This is some bit of Nintendo shit, man.
I actually wrote an article on our site. That's why I thought it was funny that you suggested this, why you should buy a Switch, because I actually wrote an article when they first announced the Switch, and I basically said these exact same things. I think it's 2-3 years later, I still stand by the same arguments. I said that when they first announced it as a Switch, like, it could be a good thing, because obviously the Wii was a big flop, and it didn't get really the support of the third parties and stuff, and I said, like, well, hopefully, of course, this can be that if Nintendo can get that, but they failed, in my opinion, because like I said, every game they get is basically an Xbox 360 game port, and they're not getting anything new. Most games that came out from the last 2 years, they're not getting them not because they won't be allowed to have it by the companies or whatever. It's because they can't. The console itself is so like.
Why do you say they failed? It is outselling and has been now.
It's exactly what you would have expected for Nintendo to do.
What about sales though? Sales say otherwise.
Of course, because people love nostalgia.
When you keep saying nostalgia, these are brand new games. Nostalgia is, I disagree, but to the nostalgia point, nostalgia is the current trend that we have of here's Crash Bandicoot again, here's Crash Team Racing, here's Spyro the Dragon. This is nostalgia. Yeah. They're all being released on all the consoles.
Yeah, true. But I just show me one review of like a Nintendo cornerstone character like Mario or any Yoshi, Kirby, whoever that has had come under any criticism. They all get praised to high heaven, and it's not just because I'm not saying they're bad games necessarily. Maybe they are great games.
They are,
but it's the same old shit basically.
It's not though. It's not. It's every game sequel is the same old shit. It's the same old shit.
See, if any video is going to get like hate, it's probably this one. This is you just post this on like a Nintendo fan group.
I'm scared to do that. So views, I'm defending it and praising it. I didn't want to buy a Switch because I've not been with Nintendo since the GameCube days. I had no interest in the Wii. I had minor interest in the Wii U because I thought they were taking things a bit more seriously, but it was an ultimate flop anyway. And eventually I decided, you know what? I love not DSs. I was a big fan of DSs, but I wanted that one something more. So eventually I got swung by the Switch, and I love my Switch. I fucking love it. There are games I played that I choose to play on the Switch now, even though it's available on the Xbox One, because I want to play it in a different way a lot of the times. And the exclusive stuff, the Nintendo franchises, they continue. Super Smash Bros., the new one, is the best version of Smash they've done. It's the best. It's the most high-powered console.
No matter, it doesn't matter. Like, all I have to do is slap the name Mario on it, or slap the name Super Smash Bros. It'll sell because people are going to buy it.
Why is that Nintendo's fault though?
It's not their fault, of course. Nintendo, I love Nintendo from back in the day. I just think they got lazy, personally.
No, see, that's the wrong word there. See, I get what you're saying in the fact that they'll, they stick to what they do, and they do. If they were doing and going, here's a 7 out of 10 game or a 6 out of 10 game, I'd get it.
I think I know where you're going, but the reason why I think they are lazy is because, and I think it was a video we mentioned recently, is about Super Mario Sunshine or Luigi's Mansion, and how like weird and wacky and creative they were with those things. And they've always kind of been like it, because you can look back to the GameCube. They've always been doing these really wacky ideas, and the reason why is because they know they can. They don't have to play it safe with Mario, because they could literally do anything. They can have him throwing his hat on a dinosaur and have him become a dinosaur.
Yeah.
People are going to clap no matter what, you know. It
But-
doesn't matter what it is.
No, it does.
People will praise it and buy it, and they can do whatever they want. And that's obviously a very privileged position to be in. And they've earned that, obviously, in the history books of the things they did in the past. And people all grew up playing Mario. They love it. I do too. But I just tired of these franchises a long time ago.
We'll come back to this in the future when he has hopefully played a Switch and some of the games like Mario and the Zeldas and the Smash Brothers and all of that and whatever, and Luigi's Mansion 3 in October. Yay!
I remember
Can't wait.
playing Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii. I had a Wii and I played Super Mario Galaxy, and I thought this was really cool and innovative. But then it just didn't hold my attention, because it just was another Mario game.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think
I just don't get like that hype to, you know, hearing Mario jump and shout yippee and stuff like that. Like, I've heard it 100 times in previous games. I know that does something for some people, but for me, it's just like, I would love to see.
that's
Nintendo.
well condescending. He's really condescending. I don't want to hear Mario shout jump as if that's the only fucking thing
I'm
about
sure that
it.
makes people like hoop and holler, man, when it does that. I'm sure it does. But I think Nintendo gets such a free pass, you know.
They do get a free
Microsoft,
pass.
People like Microsoft, like, obviously I play on Microsoft. I'm not a Microsoft fanboy. I'm not even a Halo fan that much, but I just think it gets so much shit, and like that Nintendo are doing nothing different really. They're not doing any different, but they get such a free pass.
Well, this is about it. We will definitely have one in the future about Microsoft. We'll do one in the future about Microsoft, because I'm going to mention this as a sign you forgetting something about Microsoft and the evil thing they tried to do a few years ago regarding the Xbox One. They tried a very evil thing, and we'll get into that in the future. Nintendo Switch.
They actually
Don't listen to him.
They actually achieved it at Microsoft, actually, because they just released a digital-only console.
They just had to do it
And
quietly.
I will say one positive thing about the Switch before we go. I'm sure no one's watching at this point.
Don't worry, type in the comments.
But I do think it is a good console to have for some of the Japanese games that you can't get on some of the consoles, some of the RPGs and stuff that are only exclusive to the console. But I just think their major franchises are so done to death, and I just don't know why people get so excited about them still.
Because they're good. Because they're brilliant. And the major franchises...
How different can Super Smash Brothers be?
It's
like
not about...
the last 5 games.
It's not about being different. Like any fighting game, it's like any fighting game. Updated rosters, new characters. It's like any fighting game.
I don't really love fighting games, so I can't really...
I'm not saying that, and I agree with you on that front.
Cool. It's cool to see like Banjo, you know, fighting Pikachu, but it's like they've kind of done that stuff already, you know.
No, they haven't.
Not with Banjo, obviously.
No, but it's a fighting game. All fighting games have done something. That's all fighting games are. Just like a football. If it's a football game, just like it's a Call of Duty, they all do the same thing. They all do it.
But I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, I feel like Nintendo has this hardcore fan base more
scary.
More than like other consoles do. Like that, these games appeal to more of the hardcore fan base. Like the hardcore fans protect them like they're their babies, and like they won't have any bad words said about it. Like, that's all, you know.
No, I agree with you. I'm going to reference a YouTuber, Jim Sterling. Hopefully you know who he is. Jim Sterling is one of the smartest and cleverest gamer journalists out there. Or not journalists here, it's been called that. YouTube personalities out there. And the shit he got for giving Breath of the Wild 7 out of 10 was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen from games.
He might have just said that to get...
No, I don't know.
He might sometimes say something for controversy. So.
No. It's just even 7 out of 10 is a good game.
Yeah, of course. That was his argument.
Exactly.
He wasn't actually saying it was a bad game.
The point is to bring that up is you're right. Nintendo fan base is crazy hardcore, and I'm not a hardcore Nintendo fan. I love my Switch, and I wanted to speak positively of it. I have struggled because he is. I don't know. I didn't expect this. I just thought you'd sit there and listen.
I wrote no notes for this because I know I'm pretty like solid in my opinion.
I just thought I'd be talking for 5 minutes and you just listen and then be like, all right then.
Why is Nintendo satisfied with basically being like this accompaniment like console? Like everyone that I know that like plays Switch, they also have like a PlayStation, or they also have a Xbox.
Oh, it's an accompaniment.
But like, why is that the position Nintendo is satisfied being in?
Because they sell millions and millions and millions of consoles still.
It works for them and they still make a lot of money.
Think about it as well, but being an accompaniment, you're not part of their pick a side. Yeah, nobody picks the side of Nintendo.
No,
they pick Sony.
Is a sacred, like, golden idol that must not be touched.
No, what you just said is an accompaniment. Everybody, you buy a PlayStation 4, you buy an Xbox One. And then you buy the extras, which might be a Switch or a DS. That's the thing as well. Not for this video, but as well, how fucked up are Microsoft and Sony, who have Sony tried it with their handheld, Then how Nintendo have owned that market, own it, and laughing because none of the others are brave enough to ever try and enter it.
Yeah, I think like the Switch has a place in maybe like as a family console. Like if I was going to buy,
I've been waiting for the condescending "it's for kids" thing.
With my like child, I would probably get a Nintendo console because of course you got all those cool multiplayer games and stuff.
Yep.
That are fun to play.
And the controllers are simple, yeah.
So there's that, but like as a serious console to play like serious games like The Witcher or any like mainstream title that
You're not putting your freaking 2-year-old child, not your child's 2-year-old, but you know what I mean.
No,
like
I'm saying like for me, I'm saying like you know, I would consider myself a fairly serious gamer. Like
now who's been
you know, I play silly games of course, but I mean like I want to play the big titles and I want them to look the best, and you can't do that on the Switch.
which is why it's not the console you buy. Like
but that's a negative. That shouldn't be a positive.
No,
that should be like Nintendo should strive to be more than that, shouldn't they? Why don't they want to compete?
Because their success is unparalleled. Do not forget the Wii is the Wii and Wii Sports are the biggest selling. But
that just says it all, really, doesn't it? I mean,
but if you're selling that much and their job is to sell,
they sell off gimmicks and nostalgia.
But all the other consoles have done it too.
Yeah.
Never forget, we were duped by one of the biggest gimmicks of Microsoft.
Yeah,
twice.
I mean, the technology.
Twice.
I'm pretty sure has gone on to like do positive things, but. Yeah.
But the point is, you were taken in, and I was taken in by one of the biggest gimmicks
of course,
ever.
Of course, gimmicks, and you know, I enjoyed Wii Sports. Wii Sports was a lot of fun.
You know, how many people have been taken in by the gimmick of VR, and even that's now sliding away.
Yeah, that's true. It's because it's too expensive.
Point is, it's a gimmick, though, isn't it?
It is a gimmick, unfortunately. I do think there could be some merit to that, but yeah, I mean, I just to conclude. Why should you buy a Nintendo Switch?
You buy a Nintendo Switch because it's for starters, Nintendo have opened its doors, so it's a lot more free and open. You're going to find a lot more choice of games, way more than you had before. You have the option of playing it on your TV, but also playing it handheld. And you can the two different styles of controllers, be it connected to the actual Switch or the separate controller, are really, really lovely, really good in your hands, feel great. And on that screen, it's basically playing handheld, powerful games, not as high powered as some people may like, but powerful games. In your hands, plus the titles, the exclusive titles. Yes, there are a wide range of third party, and yes, you get a lot more stuff are getting ported over. You know, this is the maddest thing of all, right? The only reason I haven't done it is because of the price. I am genuinely going to buy Resident Evil Remake, the HD, because I want to play it for the first time ever in my life in a handheld. But stupidly, £30 for that.
Yeah, they're re-releasing these games at pretty strange
prices.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how Nintendo are going to get me with certain games. But I'm like, yeah, I want to experience that with a handheld, but exclusive titles, people. Mario.
Wait a couple of years and you can probably play it on your phone. Wait a couple of years and you'll probably be able to play
True,
it on your phone.
you know, we're just waiting for Skyrim to be in mobiles as well. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. So it's inevitably going to happen. But you know, and as well, it's the multiplayer games. If you have got family, if you've got friends, and you want a few beers and all that, there's lots of great stuff on there. And it's the Marios and the Zeldas and the Smash Brothers and the upcoming Metroids and the Luigi Mansion and Animal Crossing. Man, oh man, it's been so many years. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I praise Nintendo because I think they are I do think they're creative geniuses. Of course they are. I mean, they create some amazing titles across the years, but they really know how to like tap into that thing, that nostalgia in people. They really do know how to tap in to like that thing. They'll like release something really wacky like the Labo or whatever. You know, that whole.
Oh yeah, that's some weird stuff.
They know they can create all these weird things, and people they just lap it up, man.
I wouldn't use the word lap it up.
They do. They're
You're going to get Crash Team Racing then, are you?
Crash Team Racing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
There you go.
It's cheap.
Thanks for watching. Check out the other videos. Hit that like and subscribe button.